The film commences in the Isan region of Thailand, where a documentary crew interviews Nim, a medium who asserts to be inhabited by the spirit of Bayan, a local goddess revered for safeguarding the villages over many generations. Nim's family has traditionally served as Bayan shamans, with only women chosen as her mediums. Annually, they conduct a significant ceremony, drawing a crowd of locals. Nim, selected as Bayan's host after her sister Noi rejected the role and embraced Christianity, is questioned by the interviewer about the typical manifestations of shamans, like body shaking or voice alteration. Nim asserts that such displays are not obligatory. When asked if she can treat all illnesses, she clarifies that her abilities extend to ailments originating from the unseen, such as black magic or harm caused by spirits. During the funeral of Noi's husband Viraj, who succumbed to a heart attack, Nim discloses a series of tragedies befalling Viraj's family. Viraj's father committed suicide after being exposed for insurance fraud, and Viraj's son Mak died in a traffic accident. Left with her daughter Mink, Noi lives with her brother Manit and his family. Following the funeral, Mink approaches Nim with a list of items her mother wants from their house. After delivering the items, Nim senses an unusual atmosphere. Later, Nim observes Mink mistreating and threatening a man, prompting the family to intervene. Nim finds this behavior perplexing. That night, Nim notices Mink fixating on a blind elderly woman, who reciprocates the gaze. The following day, during Wairaj's burial ceremony, Nim learns that the blind old woman has passed away. No one knows the circumstances of the blind old woman's death. Nim's attention then shifts to Mink, who, standing in the crowd, locks eyes with Nim before departing. Nim follows Mink, finding her outside a room behaving oddly. Later in Mink's room, Nim searches for something and is questioned by Neil about her intentions. Nim discovers a turmeric amulet in Mink's wardrobe, known as Taba, believed to offer protection from spirits and malevolent forces. Despite Mink's resistance, Nim inquires about nightmares and strange sounds. Mink, however, insists they leave. Nim explains to the interviewer the significance of the turmeric called Tabat in protecting against spirits and evil. The interviewer questions Mink about placing the Tabat in her room and staring at the blind woman during the funeral. Mink pauses, asks if he sees anyone, and upon his affirmative response, observes a distant woman without explanation. When asked if Bayan will move into Mink, Nim remains uncertain. The crew anticipates recording a manifestation and decides to film Mink and her family. The interviewer queries Nim about her feelings toward shamans, and she dismisses it as nonsense. Noi is asked about her experience when Bayan attempted to enter her. She recalls symptoms dubbed shaman fever in her 20s, but resisted becoming a shaman, converting to Christianity instead. Nim's attempt at dressmaking in the city resulted in her fainting and blacking out, leading to Bayan entering her. When asked about Bayan potentially moving into Mink, Noi becomes angered and demands the filming stop. Subsequently, Mink dresses up for the town celebration and notices children's shoes in the mirror, enjoying wearing them despite their small size. Later, the interviewer questions Mink's best friend Lisa, who senses that Mink has been acting strangely, suggesting she may be pretending or not behaving authentically. Mink's friend Lisa provides a video as evidence of Mink's peculiar behavior at the mall, showcasing childlike actions such as riding kiddie machines and even pushing kids. The cameraman continues to follow Mink, capturing her sleeping on a bench inside her workplace the next day. Co-workers wake her up, and she's told to clean up for work. However, as she stands, a man stares at her, focusing on her smelly lower body. Mink discovers she is bleeding uncontrollably between her legs, prompting her to rush to the restroom to clean up. Returning home, Noi inquires about what happened, but Mink dismisses it as just her period. Noi attempts to discuss the issue further, questioning how long this has been happening, but Mink locks herself in her room. Concerned, Noi discusses the situation with Manit, who suggests having Nim perform the acceptance ceremony for Mink. Noi, however, expresses reluctance about her child becoming a shaman. The next day, Mink experiences severe abdominal and vaginal pain, and, during her commute, unexpectedly curses and slaps an old woman, leading to her being forcibly removed from the vehicle. Instead of going home, she drinks alcohol while uttering insulting words. The interviewer shares footage with Nim, revealing Mink's childlike behavior. Nim visits and pretends to look for a lost bracelet, seizing the opportunity to question Mink about her well-being and whether she has heard any voices lately. Before Mink can respond, Noi interrupts and Nim has to leave. Once Nim is gone, Mink confides in Noi, expressing her reluctance to become a shaman and pleading for help. Later, Noah accompanies Mink to the hospital due to piercing head, back, and genital pain. Despite medical examination, the doctor cannot identify the cause. The interview crew inquires about Mink's recent dreams, and she reluctantly shares a recurring scenario featuring a colossal man in a red loincloth and vest adorned with talismans. In her recurring dream, Mink witnesses a colossal man with a long sword, stomping his foot, licking blood from the sword, and a decapitated head on the blood-soaked floor, attempting to convey a message without sound. Returning to work the next day, Mink experiences nausea and increased abdominal pain, rushing to the restroom with cries of pain heard by those nearby. The interview crew urges her to go to the hospital, but Mink insists on being left alone. Despite the pain, she attempts to work, only to be fired by her boss, leading her to leave immediately. She wears a white dress for an event, and during hair preparation, her behavior shifts as she scratches her gums with her nail, staining her teeth with blood. Interrupted by the artist, Mink realizes her actions, leaves the booth, and changes her behavior during the parade, throwing decorations at the crowd, observed by Nim. The following day, Mink returns to work as if she wasn't fired. The boss calls security to remove her, claiming missing items seen on CCTV and accusing Mink of engaging in inappropriate office activities with multiple men. That night, Noe finds Mink at home, unconscious, and covered in blood from self-inflicted wrist wounds. Rushed to the hospital just in time, Nin visits Mink, and Noe expresses her willingness to let Mink undergo the acceptance ceremony. However, Nin reveals that Mink is not possessed by Bayan, but by a different entity. Nim and Manit return home, and Nim confronts Manit about the truth behind Mac's death. Reviewing photos, Nim discovers an incestuous relationship between Mink and her brother, leading to his suicide. Nim then visits the forest where Mac hanged himself, standing before the tree. Nim concludes that Mac is attempting to harm Mink, so she prays in front of the tree to dissuade Mac from his intentions. Unbeknownst to Nim, Noe and Manit take Mink to a shaman for the acceptance ceremony. Mink, reflecting in the mirror, smiles. Manit secretly alerts Nim about Noe's plan. The ceremony begins, but Nim interrupts, explaining her alternative approach to helping Mink. Suddenly, Mink seizes a camera and violently strikes Noe until she loses consciousness. Nim intervenes, but Mink escapes quickly, leaving no trace. Despite a search by family and friends, Mink remains elusive. Upon waking, Noe implores Nim to help find Mink. Nim suggests holding a ceremony to appeal to Baidian. They ascend the mountain, where Noe must open her heart to Baidian and seek forgiveness. Returning home, they enter Mink's room, noticing a foul smell. The family dismisses it and searches for items Mink brought home, as they may hold traces of the spirits she encountered. Nim returns to the forest, conducting a ritual to pray for Mac not to harm Mink, uncertain how long she must continue. Noe and Manit approached the police with a lead from a taxi driver's dash cam. Mink exited the taxi in a grassy field, ignoring the driver's calls. The driver investigates but finds no other leads. A month passes without news. The police lack updates, and Nim remains unaware of Mink's whereabouts. During a ritual, black liquid emerges from a broken egg, prompting Nim to realize Mac may not be involved. She revisits the last place Mink was seen alive, navigating tall grass and discovering an abandoned thread factory in the field. Nim tirelessly searches the abandoned thread factory and discovers Mink unconscious on the 5th floor, covered in dirt. Rushing her to the hospital, the doctor assures them that Mink is physically fine but exhibits signs of malnutrition and dehydration. The following day, Nim ascends the mountains to perform a sacrifice, only to find the Bayan statue beheaded, a blasphemous act mocking the sacred idol. Meanwhile, Mink, discharged from the hospital, appears possessed. She becomes aggressive during Nim's visit, growling like an animal, and taunts Nim to guess her identity. Mink, suddenly behaving sexually, forces advances on Manit. Nim and Noe intervene, reciting prayers, and Mink reveals that Nim became a shaman due to her influence. Nim induces Mink to vomit a black liquid, but it only aggravates the possessor. To contain her, they tie Mink to a bed and leave the room. The family takes Mink to a powerful shaman named Santi. He reveals that the acceptance ceremony turned Mink into a vessel for hundreds of evil spirits seeking vengeance. Wiraj's family ancestors slaughtered hundreds of people, and the dying victims cursed the family. Nin guides Santi to the location where she found Mink, and he decides to conduct the exorcism ceremony there. Nim, Santi, and his students prepare for an elaborate ritual to expel the spirits. As the days leading to the ritual pass, the evil spirits become increasingly aggressive towards Mink's family. Night vision cameras are installed in the house, capturing Mink crawling like an animal, urinating on the dining table, and consuming raw meat from the refrigerator. In the days preceding the ceremony, she boils the family dog alive and consumes it. Mink sneaks into her uncle's room, creating unsettling scenarios, and the crew captures footage of her taking Manet's son, Pong, one night. Manet rushes to the house, panicking upon finding the crib empty. After a tense search in the fields, Pong is found unharmed. Mink, mischievous, brandishes a knife and attempts an attack on the cameraman, but it lands on Manet's hand beneath Mink. They subdue Mink and lock her in her room. The day before the ceremony, Noi tries unsuccessfully to contact Nim. Neighbors break into Nim's room, finding her unconscious and not breathing, her sudden death leaving them bewildered. Nonetheless, Santi proceeds with the ritual. Santi's students encircle the building with protective spells, incense, and holy items. Similar measures are taken on the 5th floor of the abandoned building, where the evil spirits have entered Mink's body. Santi plans to use Noi as a vessel, exorcise the evil souls, and trap them in a sealed jar since Mink is too violent for the procedure. With a cloth filled with prayers covering her head, Noi is guided to the abandoned building. The ritual begins, and blood starts to emerge from her mouth and between her legs. After vomiting the evil spirits into the jar, she loses consciousness. Meanwhile, some members stay here with Mink at home, following Sandy's instructions not to open her room until the exorcism is complete. Pong mysteriously ends up in Mink's room, causing Pang to tear the holy spell that confines Mink. The ritual fails, and Santi takes his own life while holding the sealed jar. Pang breaks into the room, only to be fatally stabbed in the neck by Mink. The cameraman and a student attempt to escape, but Mink intercepts them. The cameraman hides upstairs, overhearing Mink killing the student. Mink discovers the cameraman and ends his filming life. Simultaneously, a power outage occurs in the building, causing a blackout. The crew outside uses camera flashes to film, horrified as they witness Santi's students getting possessed. Growling like animals, the possessed students attack and kill the crew by biting off their flesh. Inside the building, Neo regains consciousness, claiming that Bayan God has possessed her. She smiles widely, instilling a glimmer of hope. Instructing them to retrieve the broken jar to lock up the evil spirits, Neo leads the ritual. However, chaos ensues as she laughs maniacally and turns the incense upside down. Violence escalates as Manet and the remaining students get possessed. Manet attacks a cameraman, bites off his contaminated flesh, and then commits suicide by jumping off the building. The surviving cameraman tries to leave but encounters Mink and the possessed students. Forced to retreat, he hides in the room and films using night vision settings. Mink and Noi attempt a prayer, but Mink calls her mom, distracting Noi. Mink chokes her mother, pours gas on her, then turns to the cameraman, ending his filming life. Despite the mother's desperate pleas, Mink sets her on fire. The camera focuses on a voodoo doll labeled with Mink's family name and needles stuck in it. The film concludes with a flashback interview of Nim the day before she died. Overwhelmed by recent events, she questions whether Bayan God is truly within her before breaking down off-screen. The family's weakening faith in Bayan God appears to be exploited by the haunting spirits, leading to the gruesome events. The movie ends with uncertainty about what will happen next. Subscribe for more videos like this and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. Leave us a like to help us out and comment your thoughts on the video. Stay awesome.